It's been a minute since I've actually come on this page and make a personal video. Well, not necessarily personal, but to make a video specifically for those of you that this video is going to be for. I don't know who this is going to encourage, but I'm sure that it will encourage someone. So some of you may not know. Those that are close to me know, very few, but my daughter, only had one daughter, she decided to move to DC, and everything surrounding that particular move was just divinely orchestrated. And so when I talk about the angst that I felt when she moved, it had nothing at all to do with the actual moving, her actually being somewhere else, because God just allowed everything to just be so that I was already forewarned. I'm gonna use the word warned, but I had the inclination before she even talked to me about her moving, and I had gotten the peace about it. So it wasn't the angst surrounding her actually being away from me, because truthfully, I was able to really be close up and personal, to really see my daughter take whatever bits of wisdom that she received from her parents or grandparents and things, and I've seen her firsthand work these things out. So I had no doubt about the same God that had its hand on me would be the same God having its hand on her. So I wasn't concerned about that, but what I was concerned about, and I want to share this with you because this was something that I shared with a friend. I was troubled because I knew at the same time what was happening was a new opportunity or another level was being exposed or positioning itself in my life. I knew that my role, my particular job description was changing, and that this meant that a lot of the things that I had been building up until this point was now going to find a home for it to be played out in real time. And I'll go into that a little bit more, but my role was changing. I was no longer hands-on mom, which I took very seriously. And I can remember the day in which I felt like the vision of me being a mother, I grabbed hold on to. I'll never forget. I just got this, I would have to say, like a craving. It just, everything was about having a child. And it wasn't just any child, because I saw that it was a daughter. It was almost like it was it was a inward urge to do, like something I needed to do. So when Dayanya got here, of course it wasn't without incident. I went through a whole lot, and that's another story, to get her here. However, I knew at that moment that it was not just being a parent, but it was a key element that I'm still watching to see unfold. It was a key element of my life, of a seed that I was working along with to not only help grow in another individual, but it was a seed in me that was being nourished and being taught and being birthed inside of me. So with all those years, 18 years, it was a lot of me pouring out and actually being poured into through my relationship with my daughter. and everything that surrounded it. So anyway, the transition that presented itself when she left, I felt an unnerving. I wouldn't call it a fear because there was a knowing in me what was going on. It was just the unnerving. The only thing I can associate that with is with turbulence. And when a plane is elevating to another level or a higher level, sometimes it can hit turbulence if depending on the elements going on around it, how smooth the pilot flies the plane, all of these different situations. We all know who have flown on planes what turbulence feels like. And so I was feeling a spiritual turbulence, if you will, because I knew that I could no longer hide behind the title of parent. I knew now it was time for me to make known all of the things that I had been working on while I was in that season of being a parent and being made. Now is the time for me to show forth what was I being made for. And in that time, during that 18 years of me being Dayanya's mother, there was so much other things in my life, a lot of peeling back and exposure for myself, having to say goodbye to some things that didn't necessarily make sense to the person's looking for it, having to deal with people turning their backs on me or treating me differently, like a deviant, and being put in situations that caused me to have to turn inward. So all of that was, in hindsight, all of that was bringing me to this point now. And I guess I wanted to share this with whoever that would listen to it, because maybe you're not a parent, but you have life previous that has prepared you for the season that we're in now. And it's amazing because the time of preparation, we without fear and just with expectation, great expectation, look forward and like, yeah, I want to do this. I see myself doing that. And I sense that I need to be doing that. But let me tell you, there's a time when you're actually asked to get out of the boat, as Peter was told to get on out of the boat. Jesus was walking on the water. And although Peter said, hey, bid me to come. If you can do it, I can do it too. And Jesus is like, come on, let's go get out of the boat. Although Peter got out of the boat, there was a time of turbulence for him when he acknowledged what was going on around him in the waves and the wind and all of that. And he began to sink. Well, that sinking is what a lot of us will go through when we're stepping into new territory. We can pray prayers, and some of us pray prayers. At the beginning of 1990 something, we were praying prayer of Jabez, like that prayer. And it was the early 2000s, and everybody was praying this prayer. Lord God, enlarge my territory, right? Many of us sowed so much seed, and what we didn't realize is that God heard that the prayer was fruitful, but we hadn't seen what we were looking for, houses, cars, and things. Nothing wrong with those things, but God had a deeper, more fruitful, more denser manifestation coming that started spiritually. So when we prayed that prayer, Lord God, enlarge my territory, what happened was God began to situate us in our life, in what we call life on this planet, began to situate us with stuff and things and challenges so that we can be made to fit the territory in which we're actually in the season for now. So we prayed the prayer. We harvested, we sowed. There's a lot of sowing that we've done in the past 10, I would say even 12, 13 years. And for a lot of us, our harvest we were looking for and we hadn't seen it. But with spiritual eyes, and like what I'm doing now, I'm realizing that the spiritual eye can see that what was being sown and what's being reaped are spiritual first, then manifest in the material world. And so I want to encourage those that are listening now. And if you're still listening, God bless you. I want to encourage you. You're entering into a season in which everything that you've prayed for, worked out, struggled through. You're entering into the season now in which you will be able to manifest everything plus some that you didn't even think. You didn't even think you were going to reap when you were sowing in those 10, 13 years previous. But I want to encourage you, the turbulence that you feel, the slight fear that you feel, only understand that that is just a marker or a sign that you're going higher. So don't quit. The beautiful thing is that while you were sowing seeds through your tears, through your struggles, through your challenges, while you were sowing those seeds, those seeds were falling on fertile spiritual ground. And baby, the time that you spent to make sure that you were right and that you were in pocket and in your lane, and you may have not done it all right, because God knows I didn't do it all right, but the intention, when your intention is pure, that's when God can do mighty works, multiply in you. That's the thing that wants to be multiplied. Good intentions, good heart. So I just want to encourage you, move past that feeling. Keep going. The doors that are going to be opened for you are going to be doors that you have not even thought about, but they're crafted just for you. So when you have that peace, even if your mind cannot recognize it, but when you have an inner peace, walk through it. And don't forget or forsake the foundation things, the things that caused you to get to this point, that intent, that purpose, that desire to just be right within, to be in alignment with the God that you know and are continuing to learn, that loves you and got your back. Stay in alignment with that. And trust me when I say, when you go into areas and do things that you feel like in your heart that you are to do, let me tell you, the people trying to find validation from people is not going to happen. Okay. Not everybody is going to understand. Okay. But that is actually good training ground, because nothing that you do from the place of inward contentment and direction, from the source of God, some of us call source God, divine light, whatever you call it, when you are led from that inward place, it doesn't give account to what everybody else is saying. The light is a guidance, not looking for validation to be a light. So I want to encourage everyone in this season. You've made it. It has been, for a lot of us, during the time of quarantine, this pandemic, for a lot of us, it has been a season of peace and reflection. And you're ready now. You are ready now. And I want to speak a word of peace, clarity, and direction for the next step. And more importantly, for those that are listening, I speak freedom, complete freedom to be who you are, and joy like no other, to complete the journey that you're in, fully present acknowledging the beauty and the perfection that you have been created to be. Walk in it, love from that place, and expect good things. So that's all I wanted to say. God bless you, and have a good rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.